and they know that you don't understand the language to start with, then they are teaching you this language with the Italy. They're teaching you Italian language with Italian language. Now, how am I supposed to learn it? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Neso in the building. How are you guys doing today? Long time no see. Who miss me? Did anybody miss me? Anyway guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing about my struggles, my experiences living in Italy for the past close to 2 years. Yeah, I'm going to be 2 years in Italy by next month. So I'm going to be sharing my struggles, experiences so far for this past almost 2 years. Firstly, I'm going to be saying that this video, a disclaimer actually, this video, everything I'm going to be saying in this video is my personal experience. So I'm not speaking for every African or every Nigerian living in Italy. I'm only sharing my personal experience living in Italy for this 1 year plus. So let's dive right into the video. Okay guys, so firstly I'm going to start by saying that Italy is a very beautiful country. If you have been to Italy, you will know what I'm talking about. Italy is so beautiful. Like, Italy is actually a tourist country. Everything about Italy is beautiful. They have good food, they have good environment, the structures of their buildings are so wonderful. Like, everything about Italy. Italians are beautiful people also. I've met a number of them. I've met a good number of them and they are actually nice people. Okay, that being said, now over to the struggles that I've been experiencing so far. The number one struggles that I've faced so far is the language barrier. Guys, it's a serious matter. It's a very serious issue. It's not a joking thing at all. It's no jokes at all. Especially if you're someone like me that, you know, that is not so good with learning languages easily. Yeah, there are some people that can easily learn languages, and generally it's somehow difficult for adults to easily pick up languages like that. Then there are some people that their cases are worse. People like me, I don't learn languages easily. Right from time, even when I was in Nigeria, I spent close to 5 years in Lagos. I didn't learn how to speak Yoruba. It's that bad. So you can now imagine the kind of struggles I'm going through here. So that's the number one struggle, the number one challenge. Like, guys, it's so bad, so bad. I've tried learning this language by going to the language school. That place is even worse. Like, they are teaching you Italian language and they know that you don't understand the language to start with, then they are teaching you this language with the Italy. They're teaching you Italian language with Italian language. Now, how am I supposed to learn it? How am I supposed to learn that thing very easily? Like when they're teaching someone that doesn't understand a particular language, I think the best thing is to teach the person with teach the person with the language the person understands. Like English, use English to teach me the Italian, or you mix both so that when you tell me something in Italy, you will tell me the meaning in English. That way is very easy for me to understand. But when you're teaching me the language I don't know, I don't even understand anything, then you are still teaching me that same language with the same language I don't understand. So guys, that's a very big struggle. I've tried learning it through that way. I've tried using YouTube to learn. Though I'm learning just little, but I'm not as fast as I think I'm supposed to be, and it's a real struggle, guys. It's a real struggle, because once you don't know the language in this country, man, there's absolutely nothing you are doing. Seriously, there is nothing that you do that is going to move. Like, nothing. There's nothing you are doing that is moving, because Italians do not speak English. That is the truth. Yes, I will say I've not been to all the states in Italy, but the few places I've been to in Italy, guys, they do not speak English. They hardly speak English because they don't teach their children English in the school. Like, you know, when children, you know, like little children in nursery primary schools, they don't teach them like other countries teach their children from childhood. They teach them English so that they can interact with the rest of the world. Here in Italy, they do not teach the children in school. They do not teach them English in school, and it's that bad. And that's the reason most of the adults do not know how to speak English. There are just very few exceptions, very few people, just very few of Italians can speak English. And even the ones that can speak English, they mostly pretend not to know how to speak the English. That's it. So they love their language so much. They are so much in love with their language. So that's a good thing anyway. But then I think they should try to start teaching their younger ones how to speak English so that they can interact with the rest of the world. So that even when immigrants enter their country, at least it won't be so difficult for them like it is to me and maybe some other persons out there. So that's the number one struggle. The second struggle is getting a job. Yeah, getting a job in this country is not easy now, especially when you do not know how to speak their language. My sister, my brother, I'm telling you, they are not going to employ you if you don't know how to speak Italy. I don't know about other states, but the place I'm living, the city where I'm living, that is how it is. No one is going to employ you in this city if you don't know how to speak the language. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter how the kind of good experience you have with that job. So far you cannot speak their language, they are not employing you. I've had the opportunity to go for different interviews for different jobs here, and I would tell them maybe that I can do the job, blah blah blah, but once they realize that I can't speak the language, they'll tell me, I'm sorry, you can't speak the language, there's no how we're going to employ you. And the reason I do not blame them so much, because the majority, like most of the people, in fact almost all the people, a high percentage of the people do not speak any other language apart from, let me not say any other language, they do not speak English. A good number of the people speak only Italy. So how are you not going to communicate if you are to work with them? How will you be able to interact, communicate with their clients, their customers? It's very difficult. So that's the reason they do not employ you if you don't know how to speak Italy. So that's the challenge I've been having. So you can imagine me living in Italy now for the past 1 year and 11 months, and I do not have any job. Not like maybe, yeah, I know getting job in this country is not so easy, but then there are still jobs. If to say I know how to speak the language, if I know how to speak the language, I'm sure definitely going to get a job. But because I do not know the language, that has become a struggle. It has become a big barrier to me. So that's the second issue. And this same issue, guys, is very funny. You know, the other time I was in the hospital, like, it's so difficult. Even the doctors do not speak English. Even the nurses, it's so bad. It's that bad. Majority of the nurses, the doctors, they do not speak English. Even the one, they'll tell you, okay, this one can speak English. The person will go, you won't even hear anything. Like, what they are speaking is so difficult for you to even understand. They're not just good with it. So when you're even in the hospital, you don't even know how to explain to the doctor what your problem is. The only thing I try to do is using the Google Translate. When I type in English, it translates to Italy. But the problem with that Google Translate most of the time is that it doesn't give you the exact sentence. Like, most times it doesn't give you the 100% the exact sentence you're trying to make. That's just the problem. But somehow they will still try to understand what you're talking about. So that's the challenge. It's not easy, guys. This language barrier is the major problem, and that is the reason you can't get a job. Now, another struggle is socializing, like the problem of socializing with people. Yes, that's one thing. I don't know if that's how every other part of Europe is, but here in Italy, especially in my city, I don't know how to put it. It's very difficult for you to interact with people like that. Everybody is on the go, like everybody is serious, moving. Your neighbors, you don't even know your neighbors. The only thing you know is if you see them, you go ciao, that's it. You don't communicate so well, you don't interact so well with your neighbors, and someone like me coming from Nigeria, when you people are living in a compound, you guys interact well, you guys are like a family, you know, that's how it is. That's, you know, that sense of belonging, that sense of, you know, that's, you guys just have a small community in your compound, you know, that kind of thing. You guys interact, you know everybody. You can even go to somebody's house, you can visit, you know, stuff like that. It's not like that here. And to worsen it, you can't even speak the language. For my side, I can't even speak the language, so how will I even interact with people? So that's a very major that's a very major challenge I'm having, making friends. I've not been able to make much friends since I came here. It's difficult. Then another issue here is that in this my city that I'm living, there are just very few blacks. Like, this place is dominated by whites, especially my city. You can count the number of black people here. If I'm to count them, I don't think they're up to 30 or 50, like in total. They are just very few. In fact, most times you will go out from morning till night, you will not see one black person. That's how it is here. So you understand with me when I tell you I've not been able to make friends here, because I don't even get to see people, let alone making friends. That is the challenge. Then another challenge I'm having too is the challenge of church. Yes, being a church girl, you know, being someone that loves going to church, you know, that loves worshiping God, you know, always going to church and all that. For this past 1 year plus, it's not been easy for me, being that, okay, firstly, when I came in during the, you know, when the COVID-19 stuff was so high, you know, was so bad and all that. So for so long, I didn't even go to church. You don't even go to church. You don't even go to, you know, crowded places and all that. Now for some time now, everywhere is a bit relaxed, but yet it's still a challenge because there are no Pentecostal churches here. This place is dominated by Catholics. Then even if I am to go to the Catholic church, everything is in their language, so I don't even understand what they are saying. Okay, there's just one Pentecostal church around here that I've attended a few times. I still do not understand anything. So it's a challenge. Everything I'm saying, everything is just about the language. This whole thing I'm talking about, all these my challenges, they are just the major issue in all these my challenges is just the language. Because of the language, I'm limited to a whole lot of things. I can't interact well. I can't flow with a lot of things. It's just a big challenge. So if you're planning to come to Italy, it's either you start learning that language from wherever you are before even coming to Italy to maybe make it a little bit easy for you. Then another thing is just be sure you can easily learn languages. You're the kind of person that learns any language easily. If you're not the kind of person that learns languages easily, man, it's not going to be easy for you. The first few years, it's not going to be easy for you. So this, okay, now this is like Germany. I know people living there may also be having the same, you know, language barrier, but at least when I was in Germany, you know, when you're inside the bus, you hear lots of people speaking English. People are interacting with English. Even when you're walking on the street, people are communicating in English language. But it's not like that here. You hardly, but it's not possible. I've never been inside a bus or train or walking on the street and I'm hearing people speaking English. It's not possible. It's not possible. If you ever hear anybody speaking English, just check, it's a black person. That's how it is. So these are the struggles I'm having here. And guys, okay, another struggle that I'm also having here, but this one now I think is because of the city where I'm living. Our city is a very small city, a very, very small city, and because of that, you don't get to see, there are no African, okay, the only African store, about 2 African stores here are owned by Moroccanoes, people from Morocco. We call them Moroccanos in this place. So those are the kind of African shop you see, and you don't get to see everything you need. The kind of African food stuff they have, majorly their native, you know, African food stores and all that. So you don't get to see most of our Nigerian food stores. The highest thing you will see there that you know as a Nigerians are maybe stuffs like yam, plantain, palm oil, just stuff like that. You don't get to see a whole lot of things. So that's a very big challenge for us here. For us to get African foodstuffs, we have to travel all the way to Torino, and Torino is about 2 hours journey if you're using a public transport like the train. But if you have your personal car, if you are driving, it will take you about 1 hour 30 minutes. So going and coming back is about 3 to 4 hours. So you can imagine that distance you have to travel just to get foodstuffs. And someone like me that is not yet used to eating lots of Italian food, so it's really not easy for me, because most of the time I eat African food. So because of that, once in a month or maybe once in 2 months, I do travel to Torino to get the foodstuff. So that's another challenge. So guys, so far these are the challenges, you know, that I've been having living in Italy. So if you're planning to come to Italy, just know this: outside these challenges, Italy is beautiful. If you come to Italy, you will enjoy Italy, especially if you're living in maybe a bigger city, you know, like Milan and, you know, some other big cities. But if you're living in a small city like ours, I think the challenges are more. If you're living in small cities, you get to face more and more challenges than when you are living in a bigger city. So thank you guys for watching the video. Okay, so drop your whatever, maybe your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, and I'll see you guys in my next video. All right, bye for now. Love you guys.